So bokeh, that delicious blurriness in the background of your photos and videos that easily make any normal photo or video look more wow and and it is my personal favorite thing while shooting photos and videos. But it can get quite difficult sometimes to achieve that blurriness in the background, and a lot of people might say that you need certain kind of equipment to get that nice blurriness, and that's correct, but not 100%. Well, there are some tricks you can do to achieve better bokeh. So what's going on, everyone? My name is Yash. Today I'm going to talk about 5 ways to get better bokeh in your photos and videos. So the first trick is to use a fast lens. Well, it's the most basic and the fastest way to achieve better bokeh in your photos and videos to use a fast lens, because depth of field or bokeh mainly depends upon how fast aperture you're shooting your photos and videos on. So if you're shooting at something like f2.8 or f3.5, that's okay, that'll give you pretty good bokeh. But if you shoot that same thing on like a fast aperture like f1.8 or f1.4, that'll give you much more better results, and it is the most basic thing that you can do. So for example, this is an 85mm f1.8 1.4 lens, and the bokeh that it creates just looks amazing. You can get good bokeh at f2.8 and 3.5, but if you really want that nice creaminess in your bokeh, you need a fast aperture lens. So the second thing is to use a zoomed lens or a high focal length lens. So a zoom lens will give you much more better results because of the compression that is going on. It not only affects the field of view or your background of your image, but also the depth of field. So if you compare a scene that has been shot with a wide angle lens at f2.8 and another shot that has been shooted with a zoom lens, let's see 100mm lens at f2.8, you will see that the bokeh on the zoomed in lens will look much more better because of the compression that is also on the depth of field that results in much more creamier and better looking bokeh. So just shoot on a zoomed in lens and you will get much more better results. So number 3, put something in the foreground of your subject. So depth of field doesn't work for only in the background of your subject, but also in the foreground. So by just placing something in the foreground, you are increasing the amount of bokeh that your image has. But not only that, you're also increasing the isolation of your subject from your background and also the foreground. That will also make your subject pop more in your image. So you can say that's 2 tricks for 1. So just put something in the foreground and you will get much more better results. So number 4 is to get closer to your subject. So I've seen a lot of people complain that they're shooting with a fast aperture lens like an f1.8 but still not getting that decent bokeh, and it is probably that because your subject is too far away and there's not a lot of things in the background to isolate it from. So by keeping your subject much more closer to your camera, that will give the camera a lot more room to blur out in the background, and that will look much more better than just putting subject anywhere in the frame and hoping that will give nice blurriness from right out there. So try to keep your subject closer to your camera and not far away. So the 5th trick is not actually a trick, but it is something that you should keep in mind, is to use a larger sensor while shooting. That a larger sensor will give you much more better bokeh. So if you're shooting something on a full frame camera, that will give you much more better results than other cameras that are crop sensor or micro four thirds. Like my Canon 80D here is a crop sensor camera that has a crop factor f1.6, and the reason why full frame camera will have better bokeh than other smaller size sensor cameras is because of the crop factor. It not only just affects the field of view, but it also affects the depth of field as well. So for example, if you're shooting something on a crop sensor camera like the Canon 80D with, let's say, the nifty 50 with a full frame lens, so you need to multiply the focal length and also the aperture to get the real value of what your camera is shooting on. So by doing the math, that will give you an 80mm focal length with an f2.8 aperture. So that's the actual aperture your camera is shooting on. So in that sense, just shooting on a larger sensor size will give you much more better bokeh because there's not any crop factor or cropping in the depth of field going on. So those are the 5 things that you can do to get much more better bokeh in your photos and videos. So like the video if you like it, and also subscribe for more videos like these, and follow me on Instagram for more behind the scenes and stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.